Many years ago, I overdosed. Here is the story. I remember being pulled out of my body into the whiteness, and it was very confusing. I didn't know where I was, or how I got there, and I didn't have any shape or body mass. I was just there. It was like I was in some sort of purgatory of sorts, and I was waiting for something. I had an eerie feeling of emptiness and sadness. I looked over and saw what looked like the guy who played the wizard in The Wizard of Oz, and he was behind a curtain, turning a wheel of some sort. He looked at me, stopped what he was doing, and made the hush sign with his finger, and then went on turning the wheel. In an instant I was somewhere else. It's weird, and hard to explain, but I saw nobody, but could feel the presence of my grandmother and my great-aunt. I legit didn't see anyone, I just felt them. It was at this point that I realized or thought, oh no, I'm dead. Then at that moment, I was pulled into another vortex which landed me in a new dimension. I remember arriving to what seemed like some sort of big event. Almost like walking into a packed football arena on an NFL game day. A roar could be heard in the background. All my friends and family, both alive and deceased, and all these familiar faces were there, and I was walking toward what looked like an old Greek Colosseum. Everyone was cheering and happy, but they didn't even notice me. Suddenly, someone turned and looked at me, and had an absolute deer-in-headlights look on their face. I can't remember who it was, but it was definitely someone I knew or had seen before. I instantly got the feeling that I was not supposed to be there. I watched as what almost seemed like a concert, or a sporting event came to a complete halt and everyone turned and looked at me. Everything stopped instantly. I didn't know what to do, but again, I had an intense feeling that I was not supposed to be there, and that I was seeing something I wasn't supposed to see. It was at this point that I heard and saw people talking and saying my name. Someone yelled out to my grandmother, for her to come forward. It was almost as if I was Jim Carrey in the movie The Truman Show. It was as if everyone throughout my life was there, and they were going to welcome me to what I thought or assumed was going to be heaven. But not yet. There was this lingering feeling that I had come too soon. Maybe they were calling to my grandmother because I needed someone familiar to send me back to where I came from. So it wouldn't scare me as much. However, I was absolutely terrified, and I didn't know what was real and what was fake. One of the most intense parts of it was that nobody spoke. It was just known already in my head what they were saying, and me back. After what felt like a strong feeling of rejection and what I thought was them trying to get my grandmother to come forward for some reason, I literally just ran away, desperately trying to get to somewhere else. It was at this point that I had the first flash of my neighbor's front lawn. I slowly started to come to, and people were all around me. The police and ambulance were on the scene, and everyone was just looking at me like they saw a ghost. I asked if I was dead, and the EMT smiled and said, "Not anymore."